Hello, you are watching Shalom World News. I'm David Kerr from Lansing in Michigan, and these are your latest news headlines from around the world. Tributes are being paid to the British Member of Parliament Sir David Amos after the veteran Catholic politician was stabbed to death in a suspected terror attack on Friday. The 69-year-old Conservative MP was killed while meeting constituents in the town of Leigh-on-Sea in Essex. Police quickly arrested a 25-year-old man at the scene on suspicion of murder. They described the suspect as having a potential motivation linked to Islamist extremism. The Archbishop of Westminster, Cardinal Vincent Nichols, said that Sir David Amos carried out his vocation as a Catholic in public life with generosity and integrity, and described his death as both untimely and a great loss. Meanwhile, local parish priest Father Jeff Woolnough described Sir David as a great man, a good Catholic and a friend to all. Sir David Amos leaves behind a wife and 5 children. May he rest in peace. One of Anglicanism's most prominent clerics has converted to Catholicism. Dr. Michael Nazir-Ali was received into the church on September the 29th, the feast of St. Michael and All Angels. Born in Pakistan, the 72-year-old was the Anglican Bishop of Rochester in England from 1994 to 2009. He was often tipped as a future Archbishop of Canterbury. That's the highest clerical position in global Anglicanism. Now, though, he has become a member of the Personal Ordinariate of Our Lady of Walsingham, which was established by Pope Benedict XVI in 2011 to give former Anglicans a home within the Catholic Church. Dr. Nazir-Ali is expected to be ordained to the priesthood in the coming weeks, subject, of course, to permission by the Holy See. The bishops of France say they will never allow the seal of the Sacrament of Confession to be compromised. The French government is currently contemplating amending the law in order to compel confessors to inform police of any admission of abuse made by penitents during confession. Earlier this week, media reports suggested that the president of the Bishops' Conference of France, Archbishop Éric de Moulin-Beaufort, was open to that idea. Now, though, the Bishops' Conference have publicly clarified that is not the case and that any French priest who violates the secrecy of the seal of confession will be excommunicated. US President Joe Biden's administration says it will ask the country's Supreme Court to block a new Texas law that imposes greater restrictions on abortion. The move by the White House comes after a federal appeals court reinstated the law earlier this week. The new law, which is designed to be enforced through private lawsuits, prohibits abortions after a fetal heartbeat can be detected. That's around 6 weeks gestation, except in medical emergencies. Last month, the Supreme Court decided against intervening to block the law, citing procedural issues. Attacks upon Catholic churches and other church property have become worryingly prevalent across the United States. That's according to the US Conference of Catholic Bishops. Their Committee on Religious Liberty calculates that over 100 Catholic properties have been subject to arson, vandalism and other forms of destruction since May 2020. Earlier this week, the Cathedral Basilica of the Immaculate Conception in Denver, Colorado was daubed with satanic and other hateful graffiti. The Bishops' Committee say such attacks must now stop and that elected officials must now step forward and condemn such actions. Pope Francis has again described abortion as homicide. The Holy Father made his comments in an address to Italian pharmacists in Rome on Thursday. The Pope told them that all healthcare workers have the right to conscientious objection when it comes to abortion, just as they have the right, he said, to oppose unjust harm imposed on defenceless and innocent life. Meanwhile, Northern Ireland's Assembly has voted to establish so-called buffer zones outside abortion facilities in order to prevent pro-life vigils from taking place nearby. A second reading of the proposed law, which debates its general principles, was passed on October the 12th by 58 votes to 29. It will now move to scrutiny by a parliamentary committee before coming back to the Assembly for a final vote. The new law is being put forward by the leader of the Green Party in Northern Ireland, Claire Bailey. It seeks to criminalise actions deemed to be influencing or alarming to those accessing abortion premises. Those who hand out pro-life literature or speak to anyone about abortion could now face a fine of up to £500. If passed, the legislation will be the first of its kind anywhere in the United Kingdom. Finally, the former Supreme Knight of the Knights of Columbus has been honoured by the Church in Poland. Karl Anderson received the Totus Tuus Award, known as the Catholic Nobel Prize by Poles, at the Royal Castle in the capital city of Warsaw on October the 9th. The Polish bishop's work of the New Millennium Foundation gave Mr. Anderson the award for the promotion of the person of St. John Paul II and credible international implementation of the values that he proclaimed. Receiving the honour, Mr. Anderson stated that Pope St. John Paul II had changed the history of Poland, the United States, and the entire world. Karl Anderson served as Supreme Knight of the Knights of Columbus from 2000 to 2021. The Knights of Columbus is the world's largest Catholic fraternal benefits organisation with more than 1.9 million members in over a dozen countries. The Totus Tuus Award draws its name from the motto of Pope St. John Paul II, Totus Tuus being Latin for totally yours, a reference to the late Pope's particular devotion to Mary, the Mother of God. Well, that's your latest news headlines for now. Do join us for more tomorrow. You can also visit us at swnews.org for news updates. Shalom.